Yes, indeed. Woo. All right. All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I tell you, we are in store for an awesome show today. This is the Sea Island Morning Show, featuring Sea Island and, of course, Trendy Lindy. Good morning, Trendy.
Good morning, Sea Island. Good morning, everyone.
All right, everyone. If you're just tuning in live here, Sea Island Morning Show, this show is about beauty. It's about fashion. It's about entertainment, beauty education.
Yes.
Every Monday from 10 in the morning until 11, we bring you all the latest beauty news and events. First, I wanted to start off with letting everyone know that we are at the close of our Breaking the Cycle series. For the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about hair breakage, the things that we can do to create healthy hair, and how to break that cycle, not only with hair breakage, but in our personal lives, breaking those bad habits and bad cycles and things of that nature. So today is our final episode, or our final segment, which today we're going to talk about hair abuse. So I'm going to go into, after our announcements, I'm going to go into the 7 things that we need to do to avoid hair abuse, or the 7 abusive things that we're doing that we need to stop. So if you're just tuning in, you need to get on the phone, call your girlfriend, tell everyone that Sea Island is live on the air, and we're talking about hair abuse. What are the things that we need to do to stop abusing that hair? Now, Trendy, before we get into the announcements, let me just say that I have been fortunate. Our listeners, our wonderful listeners, have been calling Rashawn to set an appointment to do consultation with me. So this week, last week, I did a lot of consultations. This is my final week of the year doing consultations. The consultations are free of charge. A lot of people came in. We had one lady who came in. She said, please don't say my name on the air, so I'm not. She came in. She bought a big Safeway bag full of all her products. She wanted me to do an education session with her, telling her what products was good, what products weren't so good, you know, the do's and don'ts in reference to how to use the products. She got her information and she left. And I was fine with that, because today what we're doing is we're talking about, I am doing everything I can to help our listeners, Trendy, on how to stop that abusive cycle with your hair.
Yes.
And I think it's important that you set an appointment to see me tomorrow on Tuesday. I will be at the Martin Luther King Southeast location. The Martin Luther King Southeast location, 2100, that's across from the big chair. If you would like for me to look at your scalp, look at your hair, if you have questions about products, things of that nature, the consultation is free. If you want to get your hair done, we have great people on standby to do so, but this is not mandatory. Do not think that we're trying to, this is a gimmick. This is my way of giving back to the listeners for Christmas. 202-526-1400, extension 42. Rashawn is standing by the phone to be able to set that appointment. Tomorrow I will be at the Martin Luther King location, and then instead of Wednesday, on Thursday afternoon, I will be at the Signature Salon at 705. That's the Northwest location. So if you're interested, either location, call Mr. Broadnax. I won't be at the Signature till Thursday afternoon, but in tomorrow morning, I will be at the Martin Luther King location. All right, so Lindy, I want you to start off because I'm so excited. This show, everyone, this show is about hair abuse, but what we're doing is we're leading up to next week. Next week's show is our Christmas show. Next week's show is our Christmas show. That's because we won't be here December 24th on Christmas Eve. But next week, our Christmas show, we're doing a lot of giveaways on next week. So make sure you jot down to come to listen on next week for the event. But Trendy, I want you to tell our listeners what you and the awesome people at the Martin Luther King location, which I came up with. Now, listeners, I want you to hear this because everybody always think everything has to be about money. Listen to Lindy. Go ahead, Lindy.
Well, the Sea Island Salon at MLK, we just hired a few new barbers, so our salon is filled now at MLK, and we're extremely excited. And what we came up with to celebrate this grand occasion during this Christmas holiday, we decided that we would like to continue to give back to the community. So what we're going to do is on New Year's Eve, Monday, December the 24th, our team of professionals are going to go over into the Berry Farms Recreation Center, and we are going to give all of the Berry Farms community of children free haircuts and free hairstyles.
Yes.
We are so excited.
Yes.
We're also partnering with Bennett Career Institute. They're going to give toys, and for each person that we service on New Year's Eve, we are going to also give them toys, and we are going to have food available. So we're excited. We're making it a grand event. We've invited all of our government officials, and hopefully they'll come out and support this great thing that we're doing for the children over in the Berry Farms area. The reality is some of those children will not have Christmas like some of our children will. Some of them will not be able to, they won't have a tree. They don't have gifts under the tree. But if we can go over there and be sweet to them, give them a nice hairdo and make them feel good, and let them know that they're still loved even though they don't have some of the things that they may want to have. We're excited about this event. And it is an opportunity for some of you to join in as well. If you would like to help us and join us in this effort, we're going to allow you, you can email me at trendylindy at gmail.com. Gmail.com, and you can let us know what you are willing to give, or you can call Mr. Broadnex and at 202-526-1400 extension 42, and you can give a donation, bring a toy, and just help us out. We are so excited.
Exactly, and I think it's important because a lot of times people think that the salon beauty school, we're just trying to gain clients, get money, all that kind of stuff. But if you've been following us here on the Sea Island Morning Show, and if you've been following the Bennett Career Institute, we are a family of giving.
Yes.
At the Bennett Career Institute. It's a family of giving. And when Lindy came back with this information, it did my heart so well, because what we're going to do is, and this is the reason why we won't be in the studio. If there's a way we could broadcast live, we may, but we won't be here in the studio. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to put our money where our mouth is.
Yes.
We're going to get out there and we're going to do what we need to do. And this is our way of training the students at the Bennett Career Institute.
Yes.
It's all about giving back. So
That's
the
right.
salon, the reason why we chose Berry Farms is because it's close to the Martin Luther King location.
Yes.
And if we can take money from clients every day, we can go back into that same community and deposit something awesome in the lives of the youth. So from 12 and below, we're going to 12 years old and below, we will be servicing you all day. And what I'm going to ask all of you to do, stop by the Bennett Career Institute with a toy.
Yes.
700 Monroe Street Northeast. Help us make sure, our goal is to come up between 300 to 400 toys.
Yes.
So we can be a blessing to all of the kids at the Berry Farms location in that rec center. So I think that's important. Well, Trendy, let me tell you this. On last night, I was so excited. I was the judge at the hair show for the Hair Academies and the Montgomery Beauty Awards Beauty and Chambersburg Beauty School. They all under the same umbrella with Jim and Carl as the owners. And when I tell you last night, you have to go to my Facebook page, everyone, Chat Beauty King Bennett, so you can see the images on my Facebook page. When I tell you, Trendy, I had a good time. I just wanted to start off with thanking Miss Pat. Miss Pat at the Montgomery Beauty School. She always invite me out to be a judge. And Alonzo, I tell you, you missed it on last evening. My gracious, it was Hair Craze 2012. And when I tell you, it was just hilarious because they had a category it was the outrageous category, and my God, they had everything from guitars on the head to blow dryers on the head to scissors on the head to wait a minute, Alonzo. One lady had a chimney on her head and smoke came out of it.
All right.
Baby,
She was smoking.
Smoking. When I tell you, Trinity, I was sitting there, and I'm sure that the owners, one of the owners, Carl, who owns Hair Academy, he's been licensed for 54 years, and he's owned Hair Academy for 40 years.
Wow.
And a lot of times, Hair Academy really is a competitor because a lot of students go from us to them to us, all of that. But let me just tell you something. We don't even look at it like that. It's all family. When I tell you I was so excited to see those students, they was on the stage doing a wobble, doing a hippity hoppity, da-da-da-da-da. Baby, one girl was out there dancing for her baby. I said, Lord, I took a picture of her.
Okay, I need to see that one.
And I know, and there was about a 400-some pound guy out there doing it. He was doing it, baby. I said, do it, boo-boo.
Just don't fall, but do it.
When I tell you, listen, we gotta go. But when we come back, we're gonna talk about hair abuse. But I just definitely wanted to send a great shout out to the great people at the Hair Academy and Montgomery Beauty Schools for inviting me. Outstanding job. All right, everyone. We'll be back after these messages. We're going to be talking about hair abuse. Hello, yes. All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm telling you, if you get a chance, go to the Facebook page and look at the, we even got the owner of all of the beauty schools on stage doing a wobble. Yes, you got to go to my website, everyone. Go to go to my Facebook page and get a chance to see all of the great people at the Hair Craze 2012. So, the only thing I say, Linda, and I have a picture up there of the chimney with the fire and the smoke coming out, all that's on my page.
Oh, that's pretty.
Only thing that I will say is I took Mr. Rashawn Broadnex with me on last night, Trendy, and I would just say, doing this show just gave me fuel for our big reunion hair show in March. If you haven't gotten your tickets, that's going to be the hottest ticket in Washington. It's March 24th, and that hair show is at the UDC Auditorium. You can go on our page, SeaIslandMorningShow.com, or the Bennett Career Institute. And I'm telling you, you need to do that. We're thinking about maybe inviting Hair Academy or Montgomery Beauty out to come do a presentation. But when I tell you, it was really awesome. Now, of course, because Sea Island is so competitive, the first thing I told Rashawn was, baby, I think they want some. I said, that's the only thing I really missed about Golden Scissors was how Glenn Jackson was able to get all of us in the room to battle against each other. Because, baby, I said, I think they want to battle. All right. So definitely we want to do that. Also, I just got an email from MD Wells said I can stop all that Hair Academy talk. Okay, so we're going to cut that out. It's all about the Bennett.
Right, MD.
Okay, it's all about the Bennett Career Institute.
The award-winning.
Yes. Speaking of the award-winning Bennett Career Institute, we're having an open house party on December the 20th. It's our Christmas party, and we are inviting anyone that's interested in cosmetology or barbering. We have plenty of food. We're going to have a DJ, and it's our open house. If you are interested in coming to the Bennett Career Institute open house, please contact the Office of Admissions, 202-526-1400, extension 15 or 17. We definitely want you to come by on the 20th because it is our open house. Okay? All right, now, this is the last thing. We're going to get busy. Only thing I'm going to say to y'all, Trendy Lindy asked me, what did I do this weekend, Alonzo? Only thing I'm going to say is, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, Lord.
Lord have mercy. I was back at that Carolina kitchen. Jesus keeping it across. That's some of the best food in the world.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm going to take the Sea Island System staff there, and I'm going to take the salon managers to Carolina kitchen, because the only thing I'm going to say is welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, everybody, let's get busy. Listen, everyone, our final announcement is on next Monday. This is very important, everybody, pay attention. On next Monday from 6 to 8, is the makeup party at the Sea Island Signature Salon. This is where I am emptying out all of my makeup stock that's on the shelves. We're selling makeup from $3 and we're not going past $30. We're getting rid of all of the beautiful black opal colors. We have a lot of different makeup that we'll be giving away. We're also applying lashes that evening. But this is, excuse me, this is RSVP only. You hear that?
Yes.
You must RSVP because we're only taking a certain number of people because the Signature Salon is not that big. If you would like to come to the makeup party next Monday from 6 to 8, this is your opportunity to get your black opal, to get your lashes, to get discounted makeup, buy some presents, all of those things. We will have that available for you. Okay, so just go to our website and it'll tell you all about the makeup party. But if you're interested, you can call Rashawn at that 526-1400 extension 42 to RSVP for our makeup party on next Monday from 6 to 8. All right, everyone, our listeners are so antsy. They emailing me saying, okay, what are the 7 abusive things? Please, Lord have mercy. Can I do my announcements? All right, everyone, let's go into this. This is our final segment in the Breaking the Cycle. The first, hair abuse. Write it down, everyone. Get your pens and papers ready because we're going to class. Our first hair abuse is double processing. What is double processing? Double processing is when you lighten your hair to give you that new desired color. Trendy Lindy was talking about platinum when we came in the door.
Well, I often wondered, really, what are you doing to your hair when you take it up to that level where it's almost white? You know, it's, you know, the platinum hair, is it destroying the moisture? Is it stripping all of the moisture as well as the pigment out of the hair? The great thing is that most ladies that I see with the platinum hair, their hair is usually very short. So if your hair should break by having, you know, with the chemical on it, you can easily just cut it off and regrow the hair. That's the good thing about it. But what are you doing to the hair, you know, by causing it to reach that level of almost being white?
I think what's happening is that the purpose of the double processing is because, and a lot of people don't understand when we talk about hair color. A lot of people come in the door and they may have brown or black hair and they say, well, I want my hair, I want red streaks or I want blonde streaks. That process is called a double process. That means is that first what we have to do is we have to strip the color. That's the first process. And the second process is now apply the new color on top of the hair that has been previously stripped. Now, the problem that I have with when it comes to hair abuse is nothing wrong with having platinum hair, Trendy, as long as you properly take care of your hair. The problem that we have is a lot of people going out here, they're getting a double process and they're not maintaining their hair, and that is one of the biggest reasons why we have hair breakage is because we go out and we get hair color and we have no clue in reference to what we're doing. One of the things I found, Trendy, doing my consultations is how a lot of women are doing their own hair. And they're doing their own hair improperly. And I believe that that is what part of the problem is. And I understand that we're in a recession. But you have to remember now, the Bennett Career Institute is a place where you can come. Everything is discounted because it's done by supervised students. So a wet set for seniors is $10. It's $20 for a haircut for a regular person. A hair color is only $7.50. So what I'm saying is that what I want you to start thinking about is at the end of our show every day, we always say pamper yourself. It's your duty because you're worth it. I believe that you need to find a budget for your hair. Exactly.
And if you at least, you know, you can go to the beauty schools and get the chemical work done. You know, you can maintain the hair on your own, roller set it, you know, do those type of things. But when it comes to relaxers and the chemicals, at least go to a professional for that. And that will save you a lot of heartache.
And that goes into my number 2. So the first one was double processing. You want to stop doing your own hair color. The second one is chemicals. Oh my gracious. And listen, when you come to me for consultation, don't think that I'm going to put your business out there because I was never going to call your name out. When I call names out, those are my graduates who know me and they're okay with that. But I would never do that to consumers. Alonzo,
that you don't know.
Every person who sat in my chair last week said, "Oh, Mr. Allen, please don't call my name on the air. Please, Mr. Allen. Please, Mr. Allen."
Because they know Mr. Allen.
Well, Mr. Allen is not going to do that. But let me just say this. A lot of the clients who came in the door for consultation, they apply their own chemicals. To me, that is the number one no-no.
Yes.
You cannot apply. And oh God.
Calm down.
There's no way in two heavens nor two hells are you supposed to be doing your own chemical. Do you understand that the main ingredient in a chemical hair relaxer is sodium hydroxide? If you saw the show that what's his name, the guy who did the movie about the hair show,
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. If you look at that now, a lot of that was taken out of context, but it is true. Certain amounts of the sodium hydroxide can eat through a can. It eat through metal. It is important for you to understand that even though there's a smaller dosage in our relaxers, you still are not supposed to be using chemicals yourself. That is supposed to be done by the professional.
Exactly.
So Trendy hit it on the head. Come to the Bennett Career Institute. On Wednesdays and Fridays, our relaxers are only $17.50. I'm sorry, $18.50, and that includes the hairstyle.
Wow, you can't beat that.
$18.50, and it includes the hairstyle. For seniors, it's Tuesday and Wednesday. For the regular public, it's Wednesday and Friday. It's only $18.50. It includes a wet set or blow dry curl. So listen to me. It is important for you to go and get a chemical done under supervision or by a professional, but doing it yourself is a no-no.
Another thing with that, the chemical, Mr. C. Allen, is some people put the no lies in their hair thinking that that's a better relaxer because it says no lie. But the truth with some of the no lie relaxers is they don't have the buffers in it, the moisturizers in that relaxer. So you're really abusing your hair trying to relax it on your own because you don't really know what you're putting in your hair. So it's important for you to let a professional do your chemical work.
And when I doing my consultations this week, I realized that most of the clients have breakage in the back of their head, and a lot of that has to do with chemical, the wrong usage of chemicals, especially if you're doing it yourself, trying to get the relaxer out. And then one client said to me, which I almost fell on the floor, she said that she rinses out the relaxer in the shower. And I'm thinking about all those chemicals that's leaving her hair, rolling down her back, all that kind of stuff. If you did not dry off properly, all of that, first of all, you are not supposed to be doing chemicals yourself. And then you have the audacity to be in the shower with those chemicals, and trust me, the slippery and slide of the relaxer, just the harsh chemicals now on your body along with your hair. Did you get it out properly? Some people have no idea what the neutralizer is. The neutralizer stops the action of the chemical relaxer. You cannot do your own relaxer and don't have neutralizer. My gracious.
And then the over processing, overlapping. When you try to do the touch up, you actually do a full.
There's no way that you can do a touch up saying that you're doing your own hair. No, you are doing a full relaxer. You're letting that chemical, because there's no way that you can see your entire head just to get the new growth.
Exactly.
All right, everybody, we have to go to break. Today we're talking about the 7 signs of hair abuse, what you need to do to stop abusing that hair. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is the C. Allen Morning Show with Trendy Lindy and C. Allen. All right, everyone, we're back here live. Today we're talking about hair abuse. If you're just tuning in, this is the last time. Tomorrow and Thursday is my last 2 consultations for the year. If you're just tuning in, for the last couple of weeks we've been talking about breaking the cycle, about hair breakage. And I've been kind of going over some of the consultations with clients, not mentioning their names, but it is important to know that if you have beauty questions, consultations, if you need to meet me, consultations are free. This is an opportunity for C. Allen to give back to the listeners for the holidays, and that is tomorrow at the MLK location and Thursday at Signature. But you must have an appointment 202-526-1400, extension 42. All right, the first thing, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the 7 signs of hair abuse. The first one was double processing, and that's hair color. And a lot of people are still doing their own color at home. You can't do that. The next one is chemicals, which is the second one, which is so crucial that you do not do relaxers at home. And then, Trendy, the worst part about it is one of the ladies, one of the listeners, she not only do she do her own relaxer, but she used super. Let me just tell y'all something. And there are at least 9 times out of 10, you never see a client with a need of using a super relaxer. If you are a professional, every so often you may need to get a super, and especially if every so often you may need to get a super, but not regularly. So we want you to stop using chemicals at home. We want you to come to the Bennett Career Institute when it's only $18.50. Or if you do not trust the student, because some people, Trendy, even though the students are supervised, they still want a professional. And that's where you have the C. Allen Signature Salons and the C. Allen Salons and Spas for your chemicals. Number 3 is not moisturizing. Not moisturizing is one of the humongous abuses that we do. Clients, how many times am I going to tell you? It is crucial, especially this time of the year. Trendy, almost everyone that I've seen had very dry, brittle hair. What is the issue with you not doing deep conditionings? If you cannot come to the C. Allen salons or the Signature Salon or what have you, then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, and I said it again, and I'm going to keep saying it, get you a cholesterol deep penetrating conditioning, or what I like to use is I like to use the Argan One and Only. Get you something like that, massage it a plentiful amount in your hair, put a plastic cap on, and do your housework or do whatever you need to do. Just don't go out the house with that plastic cap on your head. You're shaming yourself. But you need to do that and let your body heat do the job. But we have to constantly keep that moisture in our hair, especially if you are African American or if you have an overly curly texture hair. You have to be able to continue to make sure. Now, our hair produces its own oils and buffers, but we need to make sure that we continue to apply moisturizers. The fourth one, do you have something to say about that, Lindy?
No, that's
the
good.
fourth one is rubber bands. Everyone who came in had a rubber band.
Wow.
Listen to me. The elastic from the rubber band oftentimes is a big reason why your hair is coming out. You're supposed to go, and they have at the dollar store everywhere, go get those little scrunchies. But just be careful with the ones that have the metal pieces in them, because a lot of times the metal piece will rub up against your hair constantly, and next thing you know, your hair is coming out. The fifth one is, oh my God, the too tight hairstyles that we do on our children. My God, that is another hair abuse. There's no way in the world you are supposed to be. And I understand, little Linda want to make sure that little Linda hair doesn't come out because, you're taking her to church and over to Auntie's house and Aunt Louise's house and all that kind of stuff. But let me just tell you something. You are pulling all of that. That's traction alopecia. You're putting too much attention on that little baby scalp by trying to make sure that hair is properly in place with them too tight hairstyles.
And also, some of the adults, when you go get those braided styles and you're constantly getting the braids that's going to the back, and before you know it, all of your edges are gone because your edges are very sensitive. So if you get your hair braided too tight, you will rip out the actual hair around there, and then you look at your hair starts back. It keeps going further back and back and back. So you don't want to put too much tension on those edges. And the problem is you don't do it once, but you continue to do it for months.
Yeah, and what was funny was when me and one of my best friends was in welcome when we were in Carolina Kitchen, a lady sat beside us, and I swear to you, Trendy, the whole side of her head was gone. And guess what? She had it in a rubber band ponytail.
Oh no. That's all she could do, probably. She probably had those braids, ripped out all the hair around the edges, and then throw a rubber band on it to further abuse it.
I mean, she had a lot of hair missing. And what I'm telling you, sometimes I said I'm going to start keeping cards on me because I want to be able to help the women. And I see a lot of women out here, and you know, you're not keeping your hair up, but I'm thinking that maybe you never heard of the Bennett Career Institute, where you can come, or even at our signature salon on Saturdays. Do you know, Trendy Lindy, from 7 to 11 we do $25 regulars, which is blow dry and curl, wet sets, wrapping curls. We do that for $25 every Saturday morning from 7 to 11. And even though that's the signature salon, our most beautiful salon, we make sure that we are trying to take care of the public.
That's right. One thing I do know is we have money for what we want to spend, you know, for what we want to purchase.
True.
So
That's
whatever it is we want, we will find a way to get it. We need to be more concerned with our hair. We need to do better.
And not just on Sunday mornings.
Exactly.
And not you trying to put it together on Saturday night or when you have a meeting. But you need to keep that hair done all the time.
Yes.
All right, everyone. The next one is number 6 is relaxing children under 12. I am a firm believer, I don't care what you say, this is just C. Allen's belief. You are not supposed to be putting relaxers in little kids' hair. You are not supposed to do that. How dare you, mother? I know you listening to me, Grandma. How dare you put that chemical in that little girl's hair? And that's why when I go and speak to junior high schools and high schools, most of the little black girls, their hair is tore up from the floor up. It is broken off so bad. Why is that? Because we being lazy, talking about we need some help managing the hair, so we run and slap a perm in there, which I call it, but it's really, the technical term is relaxer. You will slap a perm in the girl's hair, and you don't keep that hair up because you don't have the money to keep taking her to the beauty parlor. So what happens? All her hair break off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's awful. And we're starting our kids off on the wrong foot, relaxing their hair at 5 years old and 6 years old, because you don't want to take the time to, you know, comb the hair and brush her hair and do the necessary steps to help make sure she has a healthy head of hair. It's really unfair to the child.
Well, and then
it's child abuse.
And that's definitely hair abuse when you do that, because again, it goes into a situation where people pay attention. It goes into a situation where we are setting the tone, and it's not just that. Lindy's going to talk about some different kind of abuse in a minute, but we just set that tone when we start off early, and then next thing you know, they have these god awful weaves that they put in their own hair to try to cover up how bad their hair is broken. You cannot do that. Our last and final hair abuse for me, C. Allen, is too much shampooing. Someone said to me, I met with a client on Saturday, and she says, well, I'll shampoo my hair every day. And I looked at her and I said, sweetie, let me explain something to you. Most times, a good sign of hair abuse is, for us, for people who have overly textured hair, overly curly hair, you are stripping out those oils, those natural oils, and you are stripping out the moisture when you are constantly shampooing your hair. You do not need to shampoo your hair every day. It is not good for black folk who have over curly hair to shampoo their hair every day.
Exactly.
Listen to me. What I'm telling you is you can shampoo your hair once a week. What I'm telling you is you're supposed to do a deep conditioner maybe twice a month. I shouldn't be seeing you at the signature salon every week getting a steam treatment.
That's true.
1 week you get a steam treatment, 1 week you just get a regular conditioner. Then the next week you get a steam treatment. But what's important, everyone, is it is crucial for us, especially during this time of the year, because the weather is changing, that we constantly keep moisture in our hair.
Yes.
So, in closing, for me, the 7 abusive things: 1, double processing; 2, chemicals; 3, not moisturizing; 4, rubber bands; 5, too tight styles, pulling the kids' hair; 6, relaxing children under 12; 7, too much shampooing. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. when we end the show, because next week is going to be our show of giving. If you can remember some of these things that we talked about, then you'll be able to pick up that free gift when you come to our party that evening at the Signature Salon for our makeup show giveaways.
We're still dealing, this is our last segment on breaking the cycle, and in conjunction with our topic today of hair abuse, we also want to talk about domestic violence and abuse in relationships. I just heard this morning on the television how a lady was getting on the bus, and in Southeast D.C., she was getting on the bus and she was fatally shot in the face by someone who they said that she was a target. She had a baby in her arms while this was happening.
Jesus.
And the lady was shot in the face and killed on the Metro bus. And what it's like, okay, we know we Domestic Violence Month is observed in October, but there are so many people that are dealing with abuse in their relationships on a daily basis. We have to go for a break in a few seconds. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about domestic violence and abuse in relationships and what are some of the signs, and to let people know, there's help for you, and you really should reconsider being in a relationship that is not healthy for you. So in a few seconds, we're going to pay some bills, and we'll be back in a few seconds, like I said, and we're going to talk a little bit more about domestic violence and abuse. Call in now if you have a comment or something that you would like to say at 1-800-450-7876. We'll be back in a few seconds.
Yes, indeed. All right, everyone. Trinity Lending is, I did the Breaking the Cycle talking about hair abuse, and to have consultations with me, that's 202-526-1400, extension 42. Now, Trinity is talking about breaking the abuse in reference to domestic violence.
Yes. We were talking about the lady who was just shot and killed on Sunday on the Metro bus, which is unheard of. It's really a horrible, horrible thing. But the truth of the matter is, this time of a season, a lot of people are, sometimes they're lonely. They're missing their relatives. They don't have enough money for gifts and things, so a lot of anger starts to stir up. And, during this time of year, a lot of people just go through a lot more than usual. Another thing that happened that I heard about last week was very unfortunate. The Kansas City linebacker, Jovan Belcher, he killed his girlfriend, 22 years old, Miss Perkins. They had a 3-month-old baby. It was told that he was upset that she went out and stayed out till 1 o'clock in the morning. They were having some arguments, and he shot and killed her, kissed her, and then went to practice. And, told his coaches, he appreciated them, but this was something that he had to do, and then he took his own life. And he was only 25 years old, and my thing is, what in the world was so bad that it would cause you to not only take someone else's life, but, take your life as well when they were so young. But we've seen it before. It doesn't only happen in our neighborhoods. It happens in all genres of life. We remember Juanita Bynums and Bishop Weeks a few years ago. She's a well-known preacher in the church arena, and they went through a horrible thing with domestic violence where, many people say that she provoked Bishop Weeks, to do what he did. That it happened there, but it's been going on for years. We all remember the movie with Ike and Tina, and some of us still remember some of those parts, like when Ike was just so controlling, and they were sitting in a restaurant, and Ike wanted Tina to eat the cake, and we still say it now, eat the cake, Tina. We be talking like Ike, but
eat the cake, anime.
Oh,
eat
the
cake.
Anime, eat the cake. But we joke about that, but this is going on every day in people's lives. Every day there's someone that's being abused. They say their statistics say that 1 out of every 3 women are being abused. And it's not only physical abuse, but there's emotional abuse as well. So one of my questions that I have is emotional abuse any less painful, or is physical abuse worse than emotional abuse?
Well, I'll just say, Trinity, that to me, physical abuse is something that, of course, is visual, something that you'll be able to see. Emotional abuse oftentimes is just as damaging or even more, because of the fact that it's something that's psychological, that is in the head. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I just think that it's important when I sit down and I counsel the students, like I did on Saturday. I was talking to one of my students, and before I can get anything out, she just burst out in tears. Mm-hmm. And what is important is, and everyone has to understand, that is why it's about reaching out, because you never know what other people are going through.
Yes.
You have a call, Trendy, on line 1. Caller, talk to us this morning. We're talking about breaking the cycle with abuse.
Hi, good morning. This is Marty. Just feel compelled to offer that in addition to what you're saying, and in addition to, or maybe I'm saying exactly what you're saying, I just think that we have to do our best to get to the girls or the young people, before they even get involved with someone who is abused. I mean, you don't know initially, but so if we can each one mentor one or each one teach one,
that's right.
And that's everybody, every young person we come in contact with, and and our peers, if we can automatically talk to them about what self-validation and self-love is.
Yes.
And what that really means personally for you, because we tend to, as human beings, our nature is to try, we want to mimic other people, especially those that we admire. So it's, again, my main point is that each one has to mentor one, because we have to catch them, so that when, number one, if you're so self-validated and you're so loving on yourself, you don't attract that type of energy. Mm-hmm. But if by chance you do, and someone slips through the cracks, you dismiss it immediately, because you are so focused on. But, where a lot of our young people are just so in need of so much, in need of so much love and attention and affection, that unfortunately they don't have a healthy opinion of what love is and is supposed to look and feel like. And lastly, I remember I come from an abusive environment, and so as a result, I've always been a strong advocate of counseling. And in one of my counseling sessions, I blamed myself for the people that I attract. And one thing that helped me was when one of my counselors said to me, she said, we learn what we live, or we live what we learn. We learn what we live. So when you go into a room, someone who comes from an abusive or a dysfunctional, or just not getting the type of attention and affection that a child needs, they will go into a room filled with about 100 people, and 99% of those people could be healthy, functioning, non-abusive people. But because of how love has been defined for them through the dysfunction in their rearing years, they are going to automatically be attracted to what they've learned. And what they've lived. So when we mentor, we have to keep that in mind, because sometimes we have to retrain, take away the thoughts of the unhealthy thoughts and replace it with, and of course the best way is by living it ourselves.
Exactly. And then, caller, where are you calling from?
DC.
Okay, great. All right, thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you so much. It was. One of the things that really registered with me is something that she said. A lot of times, if we grew up in abuse, it becomes our norm. It becomes what we're used to. It's familiar and it makes sense. And a lot of times we attract, that that thing that we're comfortable and familiar with. But a few of the things that you can look for and that will let you know if you're in an abusive relationship is if you're in a relationship and you're afraid of your partner much of the time, that's one of the signs that you're in an abusive relationship. You should not fear your partner. Another thing is if you're being threatened that if they say they will hurt you or they threaten to even kill you and things like that, you need to take that seriously and know that that's not a healthy relationship. If they humiliate you, yell at you, try to belittle you and put you down, that's an abusive relationship. You don't need to participate in that. If the person acts excessively jealous or possessive of you, that's a sign of being in an abusive relationship. And the main thing with some of these attributes that the abuser will do to the person, they're trying to dominate and control you. And it's really a horrible thing because I tell some people, especially I've seen some gentlemen say, well, if she doesn't do what I say, I'm going to knock her head off. And my thing to them is, well, she's already been raised. She's a grown-up. If you don't like what you have in front of you, the package, the woman that she is, leave her alone. She's not for you. It's not for you to straighten her up and make her be what you want her to be. That's not going to happen. So we have to recognize when we're in abusive relationships. I must say for myself, because I grew up in such dysfunction, I've been able to survive and make abusive relationships okay until I got older and actually got into the church and learned, how God sees me and how God loves me and that He wants the best for me, and I start to learn to love me. And now, I don't allow people to abuse me. I don't allow people to say anything to me and walk on me. I will check them, or I will not allow them to be a part of my life. But some of you out there, you're in bad situations, and we want you to know that there is help for you. If you are in any type of danger, please reach out to the Domestic Violence Hotline. And that number is 1-800-799-7233. We're going to continue when we come back. Or we done this? That's it? I still want to go on and on.
That's right.
But let me give you my website. Just in case you have a hot topic or you want to talk more, my website is Trendy Lindy, TrendyLindi@gmail.com.
Our website. All right, everybody, pamper yourself. It's your duty because you deserve it. Have a good week.
Have a good one.